You need to get off my front lawn, boy. Yeah, that's right.
Today we're going to talk about this. Today we're going to build this. Let's do it.
Hi guys. Today we're going to check out the DLT-19X Stormtrooper Blaster. It's actually the rifle with the bipod. Cool. I did everything on a Creality Ender 3 Pro. The only thing I had to chop up was the bipods, left and right. Alright, let's pause it here 1 second. I'll tell you what I mean by chopping up. My Creality Ender 3 Pro does not fit the whole part on the bed, so I have to move it around to get it on the bed. See, I can't do nothing there, I can't do nothing there, it's still blocked out. I try to like rotate, trying to get it on diagonally, sometimes that works. So I'm like, nope. It don't work, so I'm gonna have to try something else. So what I mean by cutting it in half is I take this whole thing and I flip it. I flip it right side up. See, now it's too big also to print, so I take it underneath the bed like this. So that would allow me to print this piece. And then I would slice it and do my thing and save it. Then I would come around and flip this guy around again. And since I stopped here last time, I'm going to take that part below the bed. So right about there, then I sliced it. Now I was able to print the other half of the bipod. So I did that with the bipod left and right. Back 3. Yeah, this one. And the back 3 2v2. So instead of that being one piece, it was 2 pieces. Same thing with this one. I had to cut it in 2 pieces.
Use the force, White.
I foresee a lot of sanding in my future, but I don't like it.
Yes, please.
Use the force, White. Let go. Whitey, trust me.
Hey Siri, turn on flashlight. So then I put it together just to make sure I was doing everything right. And I wanted to measure the dowel rod in the center. So I marked it, the front there, but I want to be able to look into the barrel and see that it's kind of empty. So I want to cut it way back, probably to like this little area. That way I have a bunch to glue, and you'll have that much, you know. So I'm going to mark that. Bring it out of here. There. So that's where I'm going to cut it. Just go with the 1/2 inch dowel and you're good. There we go. Oh yeah! So I just messed up. I was using my file to go through here, and there's like a lip right there. So I chopped through it. I don't know if you could see. either I print another one of these out, even though I probably spent an hour on it and painting, or I cut this part off maybe and resin print just that part. I think it'll look nicer anyway. Those of you out there that are thinking about getting a 3D printer, you're like, what size should I get? Get one. Then you'll know what you need. What? Like, I started with the Creality Ender 3 Pro, and I printed all this stuff with it. Everything. The small things, I got a resin printer, and you'll find out that the resin printers do higher quality. You could barely even see lines, or you don't need to sand or do anything like that. It's perfect. Let me show you the difference. I didn't have to touch the white one at all. But this one's got all parts and pieces and lines and crap. So you get a resin printer for the small stuff, you get a filament printer for the bigger stuff, and then if you have to go bigger, like you want to do a full, I don't know, a helmet, get a bigger one yet, which I plan on doing. So I'm hoping to get a large one and be done with it. To have 3 of them, you know, and then I'll be done. So I got a little spot here that looks kind of crappy even after sanding it. I'm going to try using Spackle on it. Never used this before, but I'm just going to use a popsicle stick. This stuff is supposed to be pink until it dries, and then it'll dry white. So I'm just going to kind of breeze over the top here. Make sure I'm filling in the holes. Go a little higher and sand it down. This side I definitely want to build up because it looked like it didn't 3D print right, or 3D printed bad. So I have to say that I actually ended up liking this. It was called DAP Dry Dex Dry Time Indicator Spackling, and it worked well. I could see me putting together the rifle and put it together a bunch of times, take it apart a bunch of times, just to make sure I'm putting it together right and that everything fits correctly. I don't want to have to glue it all up and find out that it doesn't fit right, or I glued it wrong. That really would have sucked. I did have to refer to his instructions a few times, just to make sure I was putting everything together correctly. So right here is where I'm putting the 2 cut pieces together, the 2 halves, just to make sure it's goes together good. I have to make sure those are really glued right, otherwise I'm going to be doing a lot more spackling work or fix-up work than I really need to. So you can see I'm kind of rushing around here trying to get it all placed right with clamps. Then like right here is when I notice, oh man, I better put the trigger on here to make sure that fits on, or else I'll be stuck. So I'm getting the sight ready. Little dance. So right here I felt I was ready to put it all together with glue and secure it. But I'm just making sure that everything fits right and I'm putting it together correctly. One thing I would have done differently is probably painted that dowel a few times with primer and black paint before I put it together. Just for the fact that I had to paint it through the little holes there. Special thanks to the Patreon members who helped the channel out. Thank you. trying to get it perfect. Blowing off all the dust. Give it a little primer. And the spots where I was gluing it together, I put some super glue over top, which was bad. Because then when I went to sand, the super glue was way harder than the plastic. So I was starting to eat down on this. I saw that immediately. So I swapped over to a file and got most of the super glue off, because it created like a little mound. It was too high. So then what I did do in other spots is I did put the super glue on, but then I went like over top and kind of mushed it over to make it flat. And in some spots it really came out good like that. So I'm going to try that again today. So I'm going to cut this off. I 3D printed another one, and I'm going to put that on there like that, so it'll be nice and fresh. So this piece here is actually made to hold the barrel on, like it's supposed to have a slot. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if it's a sight. Here I am doing some extra spackling work. Alright, now let that dry, and I'll work on the scope. So I'm just going to glue that guy on, but first I'm going to clean this up. So I ended up using both of my printers to do that piece. For some reason my resin printer messed up on that part, and I already had this one printed, so I used that, and it came out good. So that part was the cap. Now also putting on the knobs. There's 3 knobs. Installing the charging handle. Now I pick up this piece and I don't know where it goes. And then when I looked at the instructions, I noticed it was the iron sights, but it was kind of backwards. So that's how that's supposed to go, and that's where the sight is on the regular MG34. There's some videos all over YouTube, and that's what it looks like. I mean, you could lift it up. Kind of only did the front part, so I'm just going to spin it around and make it like this. I'm going to put some rubber bands in there and sand it a little bit, just so the glue will stick good. And the rubber bands are to hold everything in place. I think there's 5 on each front and back. There's markings on the sides. If you could see there, there's a mark there and there telling you that that's where the fin goes. So you did a good job there. There's a spot where the sight goes in. There's a spot where this goes in. Just pay attention to the pictures that he gave to you, and shouldn't have any problems. Or watching this video too, that should help. Alright. There's 4 nubbies that stick up for the scope. 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and 1 up here. There's like 3 of them up in the front. I got rid of the one that is more towards the rear, because it kept, I don't know, that part wasn't made right. See, if you look at this, there's a spot for that, but I don't know, something's just not right. So I cut that one off, and now the other two kind of hold it perfectly, and I will glue the whole thing down to the frame of the rifle, and then it should hold it pretty good. Man, I'm excited. This looks awesome already. Can't wait to be painted. This is definitely fun putting together, though. Just all the little pieces and getting it ready, trying to make it look the best. Now on to the bipods. I usually use the, what's it called, the tree branch or tree roots. That way I know that nothing will fall apart on me. I use that for everything, and it seems to work out fine for me. So I'm just going to glue them together and see if they hold. Or should I put like a popsicle stick or something? You know what, I think I have some of these left, some extra, so I just put them in there and glue them. Give it extra support, at least on the one side. You know what I mean? So, print out 2 extras of these. So far, everything's good. They have those blocking pieces inside where you glue them together. I wish I would have talked more about it when I was building it, but I was in the zone, so I apologize for that. I'll try to talk over some of it while I'm doing it in the videos. So, let me know if you have any questions. So when you put them back together again, you got to make sure you have the 2 little, actually the 3 things sticking up like that, or sticking down, whichever way you look at it. Seems to be holding pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be used anyway. It's kind of meant to just be up against, you know, just for show. Still neat looking. That's why I printed them out. Alright, so I wanted to show you how this goes on. There's a little kind of notch just perfect for that. There's holes right there for this to go into. So what do these go into? Well, there's this little part here that you just kind of put these 2 into like that, and it holds it. See? So then it would be like this. And let's see, that there is a difference. So let me see. Yep. So when you put it in, it's going to be like that. You have there's more meat up here than it is down the bottom, if you could see that. So that would be perfect. Perfectly line up here. So I'll snap it in just to kind of show you how. And I think I have this in too deep. So kind of that's how it would look. I need to super glue it and everything together, but you get the picture. I'm going to super glue all these parts together so that way it's nice and sturdy. That's it for that. So I can't get the sight in. So what I'm going to try is this. So I'm going to put that guy on there. Yeah, watch, I probably won't be able to get it off then. So I'm going to try that. Oh yeah! Smarter, not harder, baby. See that guy in there? Yeah. Just a little bit to dab. And it was what do you call it? It was designed well because it perfectly fit in there. Just like snapped in, you know what I mean? There we go.
This here is a DLT-19X, which is a sniper rifle. This is a 3D print that I put together. It took a long time to print, man. It took a long time to print. But it came out pretty good. I chose the one with the bipod. And hope you like this video. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Scared the crap out of me. Broke my file. In the spots here. Yikes!